How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode 3 of the ChiTown podcast. Today we're going to be talking about the Cubs, and then we got a little Q&A actually to start. And then we're going to be talking about the Cubs, and then we'll go into a little bit of college football talk because it's a slow news day. How you been today, Tom?
I've been pretty good. It's been a kind of a boring day, I'm not gonna lie. I got up kind of late, which sucks. But then I was watching college football today and I wanted Oklahoma State to win, and they did not win, which makes me not very happy. And right now Georgia is losing to Alabama, which I also don't want to happen. So it's been a day. It's been a day.
We're going to get a crazy college football playoff scenario here, Tom. This is like
Yeah,
perfect.
I know. So how's your day, Ben?
My day's been great. I woke up early, went to Arizona's basketball game, got the dub over Colgate. Too bad Kentucky basketball couldn't
Bro,
beat
I knew you were gonna say
UNC
some shit like that.
Wilmington. That's embarrassing. But you know what? Happens to the best of them. At least you didn't lose to Princeton in the tournament.
Yeah, it could always be worse, but we lost to St. Peter's, so
The year before.
yeah, so we are the same.
Exactly. Well, let's get going into this Q&A we posted on our TikTok. I'll have Tom plug the TikTok.
Oh yeah, it's it's at ChiTown_pod. But if you look up ChiTownPod, I'd assume it'd pop up.
It'll pop up. Thomas posted a video earlier today, kind of just saying, "Hey, we need a segment for the podcast. Send us a couple questions you'd like to answer." I believe the question that Tom asked was, "What's your favorite milk?" And I'm gonna
Oh,
answer that. I'm a whole milk person. How
dude,
about
me
you?
too.
All right, look
Yeah.
at that.
Okay, and but also skim milk underrated.
Skim milk at the right time is underrated.
I don't know. People think it's really like watery, and I disagree.
Skim
It's
milk with like cereal is not it.
really, I think it's money.
Skim milk on its own, I can drink skim milk. Skim
I
skim
don't know.
milk on its own.
I just really like milk, as you can tell. Fairlife
Shameless
counts.
plug for
Yeah,
Fairlife. Not
please,
sponsored.
please sponsor us. I would love to hear. I want more.
Oh, that's hilarious. Well, let's go into our first question here from Sanemi. We apologize if we
Is it
butchered that
Tsunami or
name.
Tsunami? Please let us know.
Yeah. And his question is thoughts on the Josh Giddey situation, specifically how badly should Josh Giddey be punished if a fake ID was used? Tom?
I think that it's wrong in both ways. Obviously, it's kind of hard for him to know. I mean, if she said, it's so hard to know like the nitty gritty of it. But I mean, if he met her at a club or at a bar, like I can understand how that did not work well. Or well, wait, didn't he meet her though when he was underage too though?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I have no clue what really happened, and I don't think a lot of people know what really happened.
Yeah, no,
It's
it's
kind of
hard.
you just gotta wait for all the details to come out, and then that's when you can make your judgment. But
I mean, he's
if
still
he if he
yeah.
actually did it, he probably shouldn't be playing in the NBA
No,
anymore.
he did do it. I know he did.
Then he probably shouldn't be playing in the NBA anymore.
Yeah, at least he should be like just like
Suspended.
yeah, just like not playing like right now, and you just like let things like figure everything out.
I mean, John Morant got suspended for 41 games.
I know for just showing. I mean, obviously, don't do that.
You don't,
Don't go on IG Live and show a gun.
show a gun, but
But I mean, sexual or what would it? What is it like? It's not sexual assault, is it?
would
What
be
what would it be?
that's exactly what it would be.
It is sexual assault if it's a minor. I don't understand how
Yeah,
it works. I'm not.
I don't really either.
I don't
But
know the law, but I know you shouldn't do that. Do not do that.
yeah, exactly. That's the one thing you're not supposed to do at
Yeah.
all.
Ask for age and make sure there is consent.
Exactly. For all you youngins listening out there.
Lesson of the day. Don't be Josh Giddey.
Exactly. Be like Nas Reed. All right, enough of Nas
Yeah,
Reed.
enough.
All right, second question coming in from Braden. What is your favorite beer?
What is your favorite beer, Tristan?
I'm a Miller Lite kind of guy.
Terrible.
And I know that's a controversial take with Thomas.
I think Miller Lite is terrible. It tastes like cardboard. Like so for me, I'm a Coors guy. So whenever I'm drinking Coors and then like okay, run out of Coors and like somebody has like a Miller Lite or something like that, and then I have it and it just tastes so bad compared to Coors. I'm like, bro, like
You
this
can't
is
be mixing,
terrible.
Tom. That's
Well,
why.
I know, but like sometimes like it's not my call. Like if I'm out
I
of
get it.
cores, I
I
mean, you just
get
got to
it.
do what you got to do. But cores on top, and it's cool too because like the
Coors is
cup,
my
like
number 2.
it's cool because if it's cold, the mountains become blue, which I like.
Of course, that's that.
It's definitely why I
Ignore the
like it.
taste. That's why it's Thomas's
It's actually
favorite.
cool though. If you did not know that, if the beer is cold, like the little mountain at the top will be blue. Fun fact.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know that. So
Hey,
the
next
more you
time.
know, you learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Our third question coming in from Lucas, and if I'm going to be honest, this was definitely the best question we got on the TikTok. We just like to say thank you for everyone who commented on that TikTok for their questions for this episode.
Yeah, we'll try to. If you comment again, we will definitely. Hopefully, yours will be featured next time.
Yeah, we're going to try and do it maybe not every episode, but
I'll
every
say
other
once a
episode.
week.
Yeah, maybe once a week on slower days.
Yeah.
But from Lucas, would you rather be an insane college football player and not make it in the NFL or become an average NFL player?
That is so hard. I saw that when he commented that, and I was like, I actually like, I still don't know. Like,
I think there's an obvious choice here.
really? Okay. Do you care? Okay, but insane college football player. Now you have NIL. So
That's
if you,
what makes it an obvious choice.
so you're going college football
I'm
player.
going college football. I mean,
Wow.
Caleb Williams is making like $4 million
Would you
right
rather
now.
be Tavon Austin or like who's a super average NFL player?
Anthony Miller.
He's just not average. He's just sucks. I don't know what you're talking about.
I
Tavon
don't know.
Austin or like a Greg Gaines. If for that those don't know, that's a defensive tackle on the Rams. He's an okay player.
Think about it though. If you're a Tavon Austin, you have a YouTube video that will live
Okay, well
forever.
he's a little like different when it comes to that, but he was like that's the first guy I thought of when it comes. Like I mean Reggie Bush was like he was solid. He was okay. In the
Reggie
league.
Bush was a decent
Yeah,
NFL running back.
he it wasn't like not he didn't not make it. Oh, definitely QBs are like the ones that are like
I don't know.
that would
Look at
definitely affect the
AJ
most.
McCarron,
Yeah, there's just a bunch of QBs that are like that. I was
Ohio
thinking
State
like
quarterbacks.
Jamarcus Russell.
Well, that guy was supposed to be good and then just didn't care. Johnny
Oh, I know,
Manziel.
but like, oh yeah, Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel. Would you? Yeah, okay. Johnny Manziel's the perfect one that did not make it and just was like literally a human highlight reel.
Dude,
I don't
when he
know,
was at
dude.
Texas A&M, that was
I think I'd rather be Johnny Manziel, bro.
I'd have to agree with that.
Dude, he was living the life.
Exactly, for like 3-4 years. And
Yeah, I
then he got
know.
to the NFL and said, "No, I don't care anymore."
And on top of it, if you're really like nitpicking it, and if you're an insane college football player and not making it in the NFL, you're still getting that rookie contract.
That's true. Like Johnny Manziel still got first round draft pick money.
No, exactly. So if you're thinking about it like that, but if you're just talking no money at all, I don't know. I think that's where the question becomes good. But I feel
Yeah,
like you
with
have
no
to include
money.
money because that's just kind of part of it. But that's a good question, Lucas. Thank you.
Lucas with the best question of the day, I would say, for sure.
100%.
Thank you for your submissions. And now let's get into our talk here. We're going to start with the Cubs. And we're going to start with they are looking for a pitcher on the trade market here. Two names have been floated around, Shane Bieber and Tyler Glasnow. What are we thinking here, Thomas?
Well, I know who I prefer. I'm more of a Glasnow guy over Bieber.
I 100% agree with you.
I think Bieber's fallen. He's definitely fallen off a little bit, and people have not really realized that his velo is way down. Like,
That's true. He's still solid. Like,
okay, no, he's not. I'm not saying he's a bad pitcher, but like, he is not Shane Bieber of like 3 years ago.
well, 3 years ago he won the Cy Young.
No, I know that's what I'm saying. Like, he is nowhere near that anymore. I don't even. Let's look at his stats last year. He was hurt. He got hurt. I know that.
He did not play a lot last year. Last year in 2023 with Cleveland, age 28 season, he went 6-6 with a 3.80 ERA, 128 innings pitched. So
Oh yeah, he pitched a little bit.
he still got up there.
But I mean,
107 strikeouts, 1.23 WHIP.
his strikeout stuff just isn't there
This
anymore.
is
Like
all
compared to what it
from
used to be.
Baseball Reference. Tyler Glasnow. The problem with Tyler Glasnow, it's a risk.
Injury. That's
But,
like that's what it is.
Bleacher Nation, follow them on Twitter at Bleacher Nation. They don't know us, but we know them. That's for a lot of people. But they pointed out like Glasnow's injury history, it's not some chronic. It's not like he keeps getting something.
Like the same thing hurt.
Yeah, he's just gotten 3 major injuries for a pitcher.
Yeah, I feel like especially for the Cubs too, we need that that strikeout guy. Like we just don't have that.
I mean,
Like
this
Justin
is
Steele's our
why
closest thing to it, and he's like he'll have his games, but he's not like you're not always going into a Justin Steele start. Like that's 9 Ks right there.
exactly. Like this is why I'm all in on Glasnow. Like Glasnow, 3.53 ERA, 120 innings pitched, 162 strikeouts.
Yep.
He had 55 more strikeouts in 8 less innings pitched than Shane Bieber.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of seals the deal for me. Of course, I think he's going to cost a little more than Bieber.
Yeah, but I feel like for what we need, it's definitely worth it. I feel like Bieber doesn't move the needle as much as we need it to.
Agreed. And you got to be trading with the Rays. Anytime you trade with the Rays is
scary stuff.
It is
scary stuff.
Not
former
good.
Cub Isaac Paredes is on the Rays now. We traded trade him to the Tigers, but they found him.
Did.
Which I really wish we
I think
had
that was
now that we need a third baseman.
The Justin Wilson, Alex Avila traded.
It was
2017. 2017,
it was.
I think.
I don't know. I know it was Alex.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah. Rough trade, to be honest, because
It was.
It's like our WRC plus is like 130 or something like that. It's very good.
He had a monster year last year.
Yeah.
He'd
be perfect.
He would. I mean, honestly, if only he hit left-handed.
Yeah. No, exactly. Well, left-handed third baseman is kind of hard to come by, but
exactly. Yeah. Moving on now, we got Bo Bichette rumors with the Toronto Blue Jays, and I don't know if this has any legs, but man, that would be a big get. It probably would cost you PCA though.
I just don't think they'd trade him. I mean, PCA. I'm talking about PCA. But Bichette. I mean, anybody's tradable for the right price, but I did not.
Yeah.
I don't see this trade happening. I would love for it to happen because again, fixes our third base. It would probably stick him. I'm not probably. We would stick him at third, just because it's how our team is built. But yeah, that would be a very expensive trade. That would be very expensive.
Yeah, you're probably going to have to include one of Horton or PCA in there.
Yeah, I think Horton would probably be the odd man out, unfortunately. Which I'd rather just not trade him.
I agree.
He is the guy that we need for our strikeout stuff.
If we're going to trade one of those top 2 guys, I'd rather we trade PCA than Cade Horton. That's how high I am on Cade Horton.
Really? I don't know. I mean, I'd rather just not trade either of them.
I mean, yeah. But, Bo Bichette last year, 4.9 WAR, 20 homers, 306 batting average, OPS of 814. His on base at 339. That's not his game though.
I wonder
his
if
game is gap to gap.
Kevin Alcantara and Morel would get it done. I feel like that could probably get pretty damn close.
You probably have to throw in Owen Casey.
You think that's too much in my opinion? Then
I agree. I think trading for Bo Bichette, it would be fantastic, but at the same time, you're probably gonna lose that trade.
I don't think it's worth it for our value, like the value perspective for the Cubs. There's better options out there. I'm saying is where we don't have to spend that much resources.
If we're gonna trade that capital and you want a corner infielder, I'd call up Cleveland and be like, "What do you want for Jose Ramirez?"
Yeah, I would love that. But I just
signed that extension,
and it was cheap too. I'm pretty sure. It's a pretty team friendly deal.
I'll look it
up
for it right now. 5 years, $124 million contract extension.
So just 25 a year, basically.
Yeah,
that's so cheap for a player like him.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, Cleveland's type negotiating there.
Oh wait, I lied. It's even better.
Oh,
it's
really?
actually 7 years for $141 million.
Jeez. So just 20. That's nuts.
Exactly. That's wow.
Yeah. Please, but they obviously that's. I mean, they should honestly look into blowing it up, in my opinion, Cleveland. But
I just don't think. I think that's the Twins division, unless the White Sox come out and do something crazy.
That's just not happening.
but we both know that's not going to happen.
that division is just like absolutely terrible.
Yeah, the Central divisions last year were
I, I
brutal.
know. At least ours was like the NL Central was a little better. Like
It was competitive at least.
the Reds kind of came out of nowhere. Like the Cubs were playing pretty good baseball at one point, and then the Brewers were playing pretty good the
Brewers,
whole year.
yeah. Cardinals, that was the surprising one.
Yeah, that was a
I,
surprising
I
one.
thought they were going to run away with the Central, and then they lost almost 100 games.
I know that's insane that happened.
We'll talk more about the Cardinals in a minute and their moves, but the next big news source from today, December 2nd, 2023, is again with the theme of the Blue Jays. They are now the front runner for Juan Soto. As trade talks with the Yankees and the Padres kind of stalled out. What do we think about this, Thomas?
I think people don't understand this does help the Cubs a little bit in a way. If
In
you're
a way,
talking about
we'll
the
get to it
man,
immediately after this.
the
It's our
immediate.
next segment.
We'll talk over here. We'll talk about for what it means for the Blue Jays first, and then we'll sway over what it means for the guy.
The guy. We neither of us want to say his name. We're
Yeah.
gonna have to because it's
Oh,
the title
yeah.
of the next segment.
Yeah. But I mean, Juan Soto is a great player, and you don't have to give up like insane capital just because
Only
he's on a
1 year
player
left.
deal. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I feel like the Blue Jays, that would make sense for them too.
I agree.
I mean, who are they DHing? Brandon Belt last year?
Brandon Belt last year. Yep.
I mean, Buddy's almost 40.
He's honestly a Cubs target though.
I know. How old is Brandon Belt? I'm gonna look right now. He is 35. He's not quite 40, but he is old.
There was
I feel
debate. He was debating on retiring.
Oh, I know. He's been. Who is the other one? Oh, Pence. Hunter Pence. Is the other.
Hunter
I'm just
Pence,
like
he's retired.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just Giants outfielders. Miss
The
that
only
guy.
thing with the Blue Jays is their farm system is not the strongest.
They have one really
Especially,
good prospect.
Ricky Tiedemann, the left-handed
Yeah.
pitcher. I would assume that would be the initial ask for the Padres.
I don't
And
think the Jays would
then-
do it.
I don't think the Jays would do it for Tiedemann either. But then they'll go down, or Elvis Martinez is one. That's
Yeah,
their
so
second prospect.
Yeah.
And then the guy they just drafted, Arjun Nimala, I believe. I probably butchered that. But that's their number 3 ranked prospect. But the Blue Jays, after that horrendous start and Valshow trade last offseason, that pretty much got the Diamondbacks to the World Series.
That was terrible, even at the time.
Even at trading Varsho for one of those guys, maybe Varsho for like Gurriel would have been okay. But then you throw in the number 4 prospect in all of baseball, Gabriel Moreno.
Yeah, for Dalton Varsho, that's insane. Like,
Don't
okay, I understand Dalton
understand
Varsho can catch and play the outfield, like cool, but
That's
mean,
that's that's a GM getting fooled by seeing a high number in the wins above replacement category
yep,
and not realizing it's coming all from defense.
yeah, exactly. I mean, and he'll give you he can give you 30 bombs. He could, but
He could. Let's see. I mean,
what was his stats?
I'm looking at him right now. This year, 3.9 WAR, so not a bad player.
Yeah, no, that's not that he's bad, but
it is a lot. It's defensively hit 20 home runs, 220 batting average, OPS of 674.
How many at bats did he get?
527.
Okay, so a pretty good amount.
I mean, OPS plus of 85. He's 15% worse than the league average hitter.
Yeah, he's a power bat and plays good defense.
Yep, that's the best way to describe.
And he's just versatile. I don't know. It's at the time too. Like you could just tell. Like that was you're like what the hell? Like what are they doing?
Yeah, he did have a down year though last year. Because 2022 with the Diamondbacks,
before he played really well.
27 homers, 235, 745 OPS. OPS plus of 108. So
above average hitter, and then plays good defense. I mean,
really
he's a valuable player. It's just not for
what they gave up.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
It's not the players the problem. It's the package.
Exactly. Now, what does the Blue Jays being the front runner for Juan Soto mean for the Cubs? And reports came out that the Blue Jays were strongly pursuing Shohei Ohtani and joined the mix with the Cubs, Dodgers, Giants, and Angels. And I believe some sports books even had them like yesterday as the second highest. I'm sorry, second lowest odds to sign him. But now that this Juan Soto news coming out, it could mean that they are out of the Shohei Ohtani stakes. That leads us to our next segment. The race for Shohei Ohtani could be down to about 3 teams right now.
Yep. Oh boy.
I don't even want to think about it, man. I'm
Yeah,
so nervous.
we'll talk about something else that happened to us to show like about Shohei that really grinded our gears.
It was both of us. Both of us.
Oh my god! But obviously for Shohei, I mean I released a TikTok about this, about talking about it. I mean about his contract. It will be north of 500 million most likely, and
Easily.
double digit years, which we would expect. But it appears it's, in my opinion, it's between the Dodgers and Cubs right now. I don't really think anybody. It'd be really hard for him to go somewhere else between those two teams.
I don't see him going back to the Angels.
I don't either. And they were like mentioned too in that. And I just I think there's no way.
The only one that's not named the Dodgers or the Cubs is the San Francisco Giants, just because they've been known to just throw money around. Like they went after Correa last year.
They went after Arson Judge.
They went after Judge and Thomas. They didn't go after him, they got him. And then they went after Correa. And it's like, well, they offered $650 million in contracts last year just to those two guys.
Yeah, they want to spend. They want their guy. But I really hope he's not a Giant.
I won't even be mad if he's a Dodger.
A waste.
Just because,
I agree.
Like, that's where he was supposed to go. But there's like reports that the Giants are trying to get Ohtani and Yamamoto. And to any of our listeners out there, if you listen to Locked On Cubs, they kind of describe this situation. And Sam Olber, he's one of the hosts on Locked On Cubs. Again, we know him. He doesn't know us. But I tweeted at him, and I was like, even if the Giants get Yamamoto and Ohtani, they would just become the Angels of the National League. I don't think that team is very good.
Yeah, no, they're on paper, they're just not that good of a team.
And their farm system isn't that great either.
No, it's not. I don't know. They're in a weird like transition period.
Yeah, going from the back end of like that dynasty year.
Well, they had that one year it was like 21 where they won like 107
games.
Like that was so
won
random.
The division over the Dodgers. Ended up losing to the Dodgers in the division series in Game 5. But
on that, there was a check swing call. Was it on Bellinger?
No. It was to end the game. I think it was Wilmer Flores. Wait. There was a runner on first.
Oh no, you are right. You are totally right. Yes,
it was one of the worst check swing calls I've ever seen.
I remember watching that. That was something.
That was interesting, but I just don't see him going to the Giants. I genuinely think it's down to the Cubs and the Dodgers, and I'm kind of scared just because I feel like Jed Hoyer, the Cubs president of baseball operations, is going to set a cap at like 550, 525. That's the highest he's willing to go.
I think he'd be willing to go to 600. I think it's after you get that where it's just stupid. It's like, all right, dude, like you're one player at the end of the day.
Yeah. But the thing is, I think the Dodgers will go all the way up to 800 if they have to.
Yeah,
like they've been waiting for this offseason for 3 years.
I know they did nothing last year just so they could
reset their luxury tax specifically for Ohtani.
Yeah,
and
scares me.
Me too. But the off chance that he does come to the Cubs, I do think the Dodgers are going to pivot very quickly and just immediately throw $300 million at Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who we'll talk about in a second. But I'm nervous.
Yeah, no,
I want to fast forward to next Sunday, and then by then we'll probably know.
He should do the LeBron thing where he does like the decision thing.
Decision.
Yes. He should totally do that. I'd watch.
I would watch too.
I would be so nervous too watching that.
I would watch that how I watched the NHL draft lottery this past May.
I was actually at a Cubs game when we got the number 1 pick. We were playing the Cardinals.
I was at the gym and I threw my phone and started screaming and running around the gym that we got Connor Bedard. Everybody looked at me like I was an idiot, and I was like, whatever.
Yeah, everybody was cheering at the Cubs game. I just remember yelling at some guy in front of me. He was like we got number one, we got Bedard. I'm like, oh man,
Oh,
good places to be for that.
for real. We'll move on here. Before the winter meetings, the Mets made a couple moves. This is just a tiny little segment here, kind of just to point it out. They signed Joey Wendell, utility infielder, and Luis Severino looking for a bounce back contract. I still think the Mets are going to be an 80-win team.
This is just kind of filler moves.
It is. It is.
That's all it is. I mean, they're doing like a kind of. They sold last deadline and they did pretty well.
They're
Just
trying to do a retool, essentially.
I wish their owner is it Cohen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Steve Cohen. He like for like it was Acuna's brother from the Rangers. When they traded Scherzer, so they traded them Scherzer and gave him money, just so they could get like Acuna's brother. I don't remember his name.
Luis.
Is it Luis?
Luis
Okay.
Angel Acuna.
Okay. But that's such an upper hand, just being able to give a team money for prospects.
Well,
Like, especially at
essentially,
this caliber.
with Verlander too, they just
Oh
bought
yeah.
prospects.
No,
That's
exactly.
all they did.
And
And
being able to do that is huge.
it is. It does give you upper hand. The Cubs had the option to do that a couple off seasons ago when the Padres were trying to unload
Oh, Hosmer.
Eric Hosmer. We ended up getting
So wish we
Hosmer
did that.
anyway. I mean, obviously, Luis Campusano's flamed out a little bit, but
Yeah.
he
But I
was my
mean,
top target in that if they were going to do it.
even like at the time, like again hindsight, but like it would totally have been worth it to take the shot on that. Just eat a
Yes.
salary.
100% agree with that. But enough of the Mets. No one cares about the Mets.
It's about the Mets, baby. It's about the Mets.
All about the Mets, baby. Let's go Mets. Winter meetings start Sunday night, and then they officially start Monday.
Oh,
and we should see an uptick. The stove is kind of cold right now.
Yeah, we gotta
it's
warm
about
that
to
thing
get
up.
real hot, and I'm nervous.
Oh man, that's what I'm excited. That's the thing about MLB free agency that's so different than all the other sports is that it takes so much time for like all these guys to go off the board.
It's infuriating, but it's also like I kind of almost like it. Versus like
Any
NBA, like Kevin Durant's free agency, he signed 5 minutes after the free agency window opened.
Yeah, no, like it's like all of that is just like for NBA, it's like the first 2 days is just like everybody goes. Same with the NFL is pretty close to the same way. The first like 2 days, maybe a week, but are just people just fly off the board. And the MLB,
Well,
it takes like the first signing takes a while.
In the NFL and NBA, there's a legal tampering period, right?
I could not tell you.
I'm pretty sure in the NFL there is. Like, you can't actually sign anything until the free agents period opens, but like the week and a half before that date, you can start talking to teams.
I mean, even if that, I mean, free agency started for the MLB like a month ago.
5 days after the World Series ends is when it officially starts.
Yeah, should be.
But there's so many major dates. Like you have the Rule 5 draft, the non-tender deadline.
There's a lot of stuff, yeah. Qualifying offers and all that. Like all that stuff, yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that needs to get sorted out before we actually get to our free agent class.
Until you can know what you can spend too.
Exactly.
Yeah. I guess it makes sense, but as a fan perspective, it's kind of annoying.
It's annoying. Thomas and I have talked about it. It's like, why can't everybody just sign the first day? But it's just not how baseball works.
They should do the thing where everybody like they don't announce anything and they all walk out of the dugout and you just like see who like
you see who your team got.
Imagine like you go to opening day and then like it's like batting fourth, the DH Shohei Ohtani.
And it's like, oh, we got Ohtani. The crowd would go absolutely nuts.
I was probably the loudest the crowd would ever get, just because like you have no idea. Like that is like that'd be insane, man. If only, but like that would also suck.
Maybe like, Thomas.
Yeah,
I don't want to get I've already gotten my hopes up so high that if they don't get him, I'm gonna be like, man.
Dude, my heart's literally gonna like a piece is gonna be taken out of my heart. Like when you were messing with me last night and said that the Giants signed him.
Oh my goodness!
My
Thomas
heart
and I were on Xbox, and we were talking to each other, and I thought it'd be funny. I was scrolling through Twitter and I saw Otani in someone photoshopped Otani in a Giants jersey, and I go, "Oh no!" And Thomas goes, "What happened?" And I'm like, "Giants signed Shohei Otani to a $500 million 12-year deal."
And I was like, my heart, like, just like, you know, that like that shock. You're like, no, and
Yeah,
then you're like, just kidding.
and I was like, Just kidding." And Thomas was like, "I hate you." But you know what? We'll talk about it right now. We were going to end the Cubs segment with that. Thomas and I both saw this post that
Oh my
we're
god.
gonna pull up here, and it took us a solid. For me, it took me a minute and a half to realize that's not the real Jeff Passan on Twitter. We'll pull up the tweet here.
Jeff Pisson.
According to Jeff Pisson, two-way superstar Shohei Ohtani has agreed to a 12-year deal with the Chicago Cubs north of $507 million. The most phenomenal talent of the 21st century has chosen the north side to fulfill his legacy.
Oh my
And
god.
man, it was worded so perfectly
Yeah, it
that
was.
it was like, wow, maybe that actually happened. Um, and then we got pranked, and
Oh my. I was like, I
it
was like,
hurt so bad.
oh my god! And I click on the account. I'm like, wait, why he only got like 2 followers?
Yeah, exactly.
I was like,
It's
and also like I thought about like, wait, why didn't I get a notification? Because like I have
yeah,
the Jeff Passan noties.
exactly. Yeah,
I
and
have him
me
on.
too. I mean, all the signs pointed to it being fake, and both of us were still fooled.
We were like,
It's like
what? And then I saw it, and I'm like, dude, like, you can't be doing this.
just it's an unfortunate turn of events.
Really was. It really was.
Some actual news: the Brewers ink a record contract with top prospect Jackson Churio. I don't know if you guys
I
saw this name at
honestly,
all.
I honestly like this for them. It's so worth it. And if you get
Oh,
like,
it's 100% so worth it.
if he becomes like really good, and then you have him on like like basically 10 million a year deal, oh, they're at
I
such an
mean,
advantage.
this is what the Braves did with Acuna,
Yep. It's I like
and it's
those
what
deals. Like you
the
can see with the Braves
Diamondbacks.
right now how good they are because they're so financially like even Ozzy Albies contract is like nothing.
Yeah,
Michael
yeah,
Harris, they did the
exactly.
same thing with him, and they're willing to do it just for financial stability, just in case like an injury happens or like they're just not good, which I understand, but I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like I'd bank on myself, but I guess they
Like,
have it like it's 8 years, he's 19, right? Or
I think so.
so when he's done, he'll be like 27, so he'll still get his payday if he's
Yeah,
really good. So it makes sense for like both sides, but
exactly. I mean, this is what the Braves did. They in 2014, or I'm sorry, 2014. I don't remember the year they signed him, but it was 8-year, $100 million contract, and it was like, for real. At, at the time, because he hadn't started yet, like he hadn't played,
yeah,
and then the Diamondbacks did it last year. They signed Corbin Carroll to an 8-year, 110 million,
kind
$111 million
of the
deal.
new wave of like how front
It
offices
is
deal with players, which makes
because
sense.
it is a risk because if your
Yeah,
prospect flames out, then that's a lot of money on
you
your
have a terrible
books.
contract on your hands for a
But
player that doesn't even contribute. But
if he becomes a stud like Carroll and Acuna, that is steal and a half. Getting those
100%.
guys for 10 and $15 million on your books, and that's how you can build just such a great team.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. It's just you have so much more money to like just spread other places.
Yeah,
If you don't have to pay,
exactly.
like Acuna realistically should be making like $40 million.
Oh, easily, easily, and I'm sure when his contract's up in 2027,
He will make that,
yeah,
but not right
he'll
now.
get there. He'll get there. Some more inner Central Division news. The St. Louis Cardinals add 3 starting pitchers all over the age of 30. Sonny Gray, Kyle Gibson, and Lance Lynn. I actually really like that Sonny Gray signing for them.
Yeah,
Um,
he's a good player.
he slots in as their ace now. Low key wanted the Cubs to make a run at him, but not for 3 years.
They're not spending
They're
until
not exactly until they
until
know where the man is
Shohei
going.
goes. Oh, I said
You know,
it.
we already said it on the podcast, so it doesn't
Yeah,
matter. Until they know where Shohei's going, then
they will not be
they're
getting
not
anything
they're not going
else.
to do anything. Maybe a Glass now trade or a Bieber trade. That's the only thing I can think of.
But yeah, no, they're definitely gonna wait and just to make sure whatever happens. But the Cardinals, they're old. Their starting pitching
I
is
mean, they're
really
all over
old.
30. They're all over
I
30.
wonder what the average age is for that.
I'm
It
sure there's a tweet about it.
yeah, they it's got to be like mid 30s. Like they're like it's not like they're on like the just like the wrong side of 30. They are like mid 30s.
I mean, the the Cardinals have pieced together, according to Talking Baseball, a tweet from November 27th, at Talking Baseball on Twitter. The Cardinals have pieced together a starting rotation with an average age of 35 years old.
Jesus.
Sonny Gray, Miles Michaelis, Lance Lynn, Steven Matz, Kyle Gibson. 34 for Sonny Gray, 36 for Michaelis, 33 for Matz, 37 for Lynn, 37 for Gibson.
I didn't
I
realize
mean,
Kyle Gibson was that old.
I didn't either. I didn't. He's been around for a long time, but
Yeah,
maybe it works out for him. But I feel like
I don't think it will.
you're an injury away from being screwed.
Yeah, and then on top of that, you have Wilson Contreras calling games,
Catching, exactly.
and that just makes it even worse.
I mean,
Especially you
Lance
have,
Lynn has
I
already
know,
given up so many home
I
runs.
know he's already given up a lot of home runs. Just wait until Contreras is calling games. Oh man, it's gonna
That
be a
is
home
going
run
to
derby.
be something else.
Yeah, hey, good for us though.
Another reason for a certain someone to want to come to the north side of Chicago.
Yeah, you can absolutely just hit bombs off the entire rotation, except for Sonny
All,
Gray.
I think he'll still hit a bomb off Sonny Gray if he
I,
comes here.
he can hit a bomb off anybody, man.
Yeah, let's be real. Our last point, and this is exciting for Cubs fans here listening. For the Cubs talk is: are the Cubs in on Yoshinobu Yamamoto? The real Jeff Passan reported earlier, I believe this was yesterday, that the Cubs are one of the finalists, or one of the favorites was the word he used, for Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And I feel like if you don't get Otani, you have to pivot fast.
Yeah, I think we'll get one of the two, which obviously is very good. Yamamoto is going to be really good, and
The only
we need that pitcher.
We do. The only thing that scares me though is Jed Hoyer. I don't think he's gonna be willing to dish out $250 million for a pitcher.
You don't think so?
Just because, looking at Glass now, this is 1 year for $25 million if they end up trading for him. But like he's gotten injured, he's missed almost 3 entire years.
Yeah, we're built like it's kind of the opposite of what um uh, Epstein did. It's like we're more like building our farm around like pitching, and then acquiring
Yeah,
bats through like trades and just free agency, which I like. I like that because especially with pitching, you need all that depth just for your bullpen too. That's how you consistently have a good bullpen. It's just like all those arms that can't make it to starters.
exactly,
You got
exactly.
plug and play there, which I get. But like I guess that does make sense. But maybe he wants to get that top end, that like number one in your starting rotation, just get that
That
out of the way and not have to
the
worry about
next
it.
John Lester signing.
But it's I mean, imagine in like 2 years when you have Yamamoto, Steele, and Horton as
Horton.
your big three.
Even
That's
maybe
scary.
second half of this upcoming season for Horton. I mean, he
Yeah,
flew.
I don't think he's gonna get called up then. I think he'll be
I could see him
2025,
make a
but
spot start and get a cup of coffee in the second half of the year. But I agree with you. I think 2025 is when he's really gonna get the
be
keys to the
ready.
car and be able to take over.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
But
He's
all I'm
very good.
saying, Yamamoto's good, but when Otani comes back in 2025 to pitch, Steele,
Oh, yeah,
Otani, and Horton,
yeah, no, you
obviously
can't go
you don't
wrong.
know if he's gonna come back as good as he was. But the big thing about that is even if he comes back and he's your closer,
Yeah, I mean you have a lockdown closer.
exactly.
It's I mean his contract could be incentive based if depending on where like how he pitch like yeah how he pitches if he can pitch, all of that will just be like bonuses in his contract if he's able to do
I
so.
mean, I think he's going to get 500 to 600 flat, like guaranteed.
Do you think?
And then
Guaranteed, really? I don't think he will,
yeah,
but
and then you
just
tack on another 100 mil depending on if he meets pitching quotas.
yeah, I guess. I don't know. He's so
Who
good,
knows?
so I don't care. It's not my money.
Exactly. It's not our money.
So please get him, please, Jed.
Exactly. So, big news for the podcast today. We do have an ad read for Frank's hot dogs, and I'll let Tom take it away here.
All right. So for the sponsor of our video, it is or our podcast. Sorry, is Frank's. Have you ever been craving a Chicago dog? Frank's is a spot for you. Frank's is a new up and coming restaurant that specializes in hot dogs. They are currently saving up for a food truck to start his business and needs your help to get his business on the road. If you guys want to go help him out, we would greatly appreciate it. The Instagram where you can contact Frank is at Franks. Sorry. So go over there and tell him that the ChiTown podcast sent you and help the start of his restaurant. Anyway, go check out his Instagram again. That's at Franks on Instagram, and go tell him the ChiTown podcast has sent you. Thank you, Franks.
Thank you, Frank's, for sponsoring this episode.
You can also
And
see the logo
logo in the top
right there.
right corner.
I am pointing at it if you are on
Tom's
YouTube.
pointing right at it if you are on YouTube. And with that, let's get into some not necessarily Chicago sports talk here, but college football.
Let's go.
And man, Washington with the big win hurt my pocket yesterday. Not gonna lie.
I just did not expect that at all.
Thomas gave me some misinformation there.
Hey, buddy.
But it's his first miss in a while, so we'll give him a pass.
Yeah, we should. I'm usually pretty good at this.
Yes. Looking at the games that matter, the games today, Texas won 49-21 over Oklahoma State in the Big 12 championship. Currently, Alabama's up 27-17 with 5 minutes and 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
Oh boy, so they're probably gonna take that. I hate that.
With that, now we're in a for real. What do we do here? Because I think both of us are in agreement that Michigan's going to absolutely destroy Iowa.
Oh yeah, I mean obviously.
And then Louisville, Florida State.
I think Louisville's gonna win.
I
think
like
Jordan Travis is just that
being
big
hurt
to that team.
Yeah, I also think
mean-
Louisville's going to bounce back after an upset loss against Kentucky.
Let's go.
I had to throw that in there. I made fun of Kentucky basketball earlier. I gotta show love to their football
at the
team.
end of the day, we do own Louisville, so that's all that matters.
Exactly.
But what was I gonna? They almost lost to Florida State. And
They did.
I
That
know
was a
it's a
close
rivalry game,
And it was at the Swamp.
but
So.
still, I mean, you got to again, Kentucky, they beat the brakes off of Florida, and we're not that good of a football. I mean, I guess it goes both ways because we've beaten both Florida and Louisville. I just think they're both. I mean, I just don't. I think they're both not that good. I really hope Florida State does not make the playoff because that's just gonna be a wasted game.
It really is, and with Alabama winning, I don't see a path for Ohio State to make the playoff.
Unfortunately,
if Alabama holds on, they're up by 10 with 4 minutes 30 seconds left. Honestly, I think Ohio State's one of the top 4 teams in the country.
I agree.
It's just the way the Big Ten is run with divisions and not how the Pac-12. Rest in peace. how the Pac-12 was run, where the top 2 they went away from the divisions and the top 2 teams make it. Speaking of the Pac-12, Washington cements their college football playoff spot with their win over Oregon.
That was, I don't know, man. It's like it was at Washington when they played the first time, and Oregon lost because they missed a field goal. 3. It was 3 because they were going to go to OT. And I'm like, okay, neutral site, like Oregon, like they're going to win. I think they're going to win. And they just did. Like they started off so bad. That was the biggest thing. What were they down, like 20-3 at one point?
Yeah, it was 20-3, and then Oregon scored a touchdown, cut it to 20-10 at halftime. And then they took the lead. It was 24-20 Oregon. They scored 21 unanswered points. And then Washington's defense, I mean, a big talking point going into that game was Oregon's offensive and defensive line being an advantage over Washington's offensive and defensive line.
Yeah.
And I think Oregon just was trying so hard to catch up in the game that it wore them down for that fourth quarter, and Washington kind of took it over.
Yeah, McMillan had a really good game too, Washington's receiver.
Yep.
Which I don't know. I just really want Oregon to win. I'm not gonna lie.
If Oregon had won
They
with
are
what
in.
we know today,
They are in.
I would say they're in.
No,
And then
I don't even think it's. I think it's whoever won this. It was winning get in for this game, no matter what happened.
see, I would disagree. I feel like Washington shouldn't, unless Washington got blown out by like 30 points.
Yeah.
But if Washington had lost by like 3 points, even up to 10 points, I'd say I think they still deserve it.
Really?
I,
I,
I do.
okay, well, you have Georgia at 1, even though if they lose to Bama right now, they were going to make it still. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Michigan, or maybe Michigan would be 1.
I would have Michigan at 1.
Yeah, I take that back. I think Michigan is 1. But
I'd
then Georgia would be 2.
My one, I wouldn't even have Georgia 2. My
Really?
1 and 2 would be any combination of Washington or Michigan. The 2 undefeated teams.
I mean, I guess that's fair. Georgia's going to kill Georgia, so they don't have to play the 4 seed now. They'll be in that little middle pack.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I really thought Ohio State, like, it sucks that one game against the number 1 team in the country where they lose by like, what was it 3 or 4? It was 4.
It was 4. Yeah, McCord threw an interception.
Yeah, but they lost by 4 at Ann Arbor, and that's gonna kill their season. I think that's just ridiculous.
I think it's stupid. But
they are
also,
one of the best teams in college football.
They needed to get a lot of help. And they have not gotten
none.
it.
Literally none.
Well, hold on. Georgia's got 2nd and goal at Alabama's 1-yard line right now with 2 minutes and 54 seconds left.
I think the college football playoffs are already set in stone.
Well, I put our banner up here, but what's your college football playoff?
Okay, so Michigan's gonna make it, Georgia's gonna make it, Washington's gonna make it, and then I think they're gonna give it to Texas, just because Texas beat Bama head to head.
I think you're right. Now,
Which I don't support. I don't think Texas is good, or I mean they're good, but they're not college football playoff good. That's why I want Ohio State to be in the playoff, because I think they would give anybody they play, like, it would be a good game.
Yeah, agreed.
Just because of their defense too. They have like a top defense. They're literally the only thing that's bringing them back is Kyle McCord.
Florida State can do something hilarious and win tonight, and then you have an undefeated ACC champion. We're all assuming Michigan's going to smoke Iowa. So you have an undefeated ACC champion, an undefeated Big Ten champion, undefeated Pac-12 champion. So I feel like just on those grounds, those 3 teams have to be in.
Yeah.
Even though I disagree with the Florida State. I don't think Florida State's that good, especially with their quarterback's injury.
Yeah.
And then you're left with Texas, 1-loss Texas, Big 12 champion. And Georgia just scored a touchdown. So it's 27-24. If Georgia wins, they're in.
Yeah, I mean, they're in. I think they're in no matter what. There's no way that they missed the college football playoff.
All I'm saying is, if Alabama beats Georgia and you have the 3 undefeated conference champions.
I guess you could argue that Bama is in over them. I mean, they would be in over them. It'd only be fair.
Who do you put out of those 3 teams? Because Alabama, I feel like Georgia has to get out because Alabama beats Georgia. But Texas already beat Alabama at Alabama.
Okay, yeah, no, you're right. So, man, would they have to make it so Michigan 1, Washington 2? Do they give it to Bama and Texas?
Well, if you give it to Bama and Texas, you leave an undefeated conference champion Florida State out.
This is like doomsday scenario for like the college football committee, like the playoff committee. This is terrible for them.
I mean, Georgia's down 3. They have 3 timeouts left. I mean, it is going to be.
I'm rooting for chaos at this point. Go Bama.
Honestly,
I didn't even think about
Bama
that.
And go Florida State.
At the start of this, I was like, bro, like, dude, I do not want Bama to win, but like, I wanted I mean, okay, for my entertainment, I want Florida State to lose.
Agreed, because look, I think Florida State Florida State, if they get in, they'll be the 4 seed.
Yeah, no,
And
that's the hard thing. It's like, what would it be like if Jordan Travis never got hurt?
even then, I still think they get rolled.
Oh no, I'm just saying for like I just in general like for this doesn't happen. Like this entire conversation we're happening, like Florida State is in.
Oh, 100%. They'd 100% be in.
That's like for Florida
I
State
I
fans. This is
wouldn't
gonna be a
agree
big
with it.
hypothetical.
I wouldn't agree with it just because
Yeah,
I
I'd agree
think
with
the
that.
other 3 teams are that much better. 4 teams.
I don't know. I feel like you gotta agree with it. I mean, they almost lost to Clemson too. I don't know. Clemson, like I told you this a while ago. Clemson's like was low key underrated.
Well, Clemson was supposed to be really good, and then they lost to Duke in week 1,
Yeah, they did.
and that kind of derailed everything.
They derailed their entire season. That's a terrible way to
Um,
go out. It's just like literally losing your season week 1.
it's like 2 years ago when Utah lost at Florida in week 1.
Yeah. Oh man. That's the thing I don't like about college football. That's why you should
The
expand the playoff.
12-team playoff next year
Yes.
is going to be magnificent because
Wait.
I think it's next year.
Wait. I'm just thinking 12. Yeah, no, that would work perfectly. Because I think what it should be, I think that's how they're gonna do it too. Is you have like
Yeah,
the
it's
first.
going to start in 2024. The top 4 teams will get a bye.
Yeah, exactly. Top 4 teams get a bye, and then everybody else plays it out. There's still bowl games. Like all these, like it's still part of the college football playoff, but all these teams play like their respective game is still their bowl game or a bowl game.
Yeah.
And then the first 4 teams get a bye, so you still want to be a first 4 like or a top 4 team.
Top 14.
And then
Exactly.
especially like when you have like this is the perfect reason why you need to have like a 12-team playoff is this year. Because there's one of these teams that's going to get left out that deserves it,
Someone's going to get screwed.
which I hate. That's terrible.
I mean, looking at the hold on, this is not what I want. I want the college football playoff top 25. Alabama just got a big gain, and Georgia's only has 2 timeouts. Just thought I'd throw that out there. So, I mean, right now you have Georgia at one. Like, if the season ended today, ignoring the conference championship games, you'd have Georgia at 1, Michigan 2, Washington 3, Florida State 4.
That's like what the top 4 is right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
Oregon's done. They're at 5. Ohio State's probably done. They're at 6.
Yeah,
Texas
no, they're
A&M
both done.
at 7 and 8. So you have 1, 2. We'll count Ohio State.
Okay. Yeah, I mean they still deserve
because they
it.
only have 1 loss.
Yeah.
Oregon with 2 losses now is done. So you have the top 4 plus Ohio State, Texas. You have 7 teams for 4 spots.
That's actually insane. I mean, and especially like one of these, like I don't know how they're gonna do it, but it should be like in I think the NFL does it like this. So like if you're the 1 seed, you play the highest seed remaining. Do you so like if you had it like let's say there was like a 7 seed was the highest seed left, then there was like a 6, 5, and a 4.
Yeah,
or not 5. That actually would not make sense at all. An 8, it's an 8, and then the 7, 6, and 5 all won. It would the number 1 would play the 8, number 2 would play the 7, number 3 would play the 6, and then number 5 would play
kind of like
4.
the NBA. You reseed each round.
Does the NBA do that?
The NBA does not reseed each round.
I was going to say
believe,
NFL does.
Does reseed.
Which makes perfect. I like it like that because you should get an advantage for being your like regular season. It makes it more important.
Exactly. But man, Ohio State already got screwed because I don't see any way.
Oh yeah, they're not making it. Their only hope is Oklahoma State. And
Oklahoma.
Georgia,
Oklahoma State had to win. Georgia had to win. Washington had to win. And Louisville probably had to win.
Yeah, it was a long shot.
It was a long shot. They get screwed because the Big Ten's stupid and everyone hates the Big Ten.
Yep.
Um,
Just wait until the Big Ten next year.
Dude, USC going to Northwestern at 11 in the morning when it's 10 degrees outside is going to be hilarious.
Yeah, I know it's gonna be funny. Just like Oregon and I mean, if you're talking about conference championship winners, like Oregon and Washington are going to the Big Ten.
Yeah, well, Oregon's losing. Both teams are losing their quarterback, though.
No, I'm just saying, like, if that was this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. If
Like,
that
then
was
it
this
makes it
year,
even
you
crazier.
had 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of the top 8 would be in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
And then you'd have 1, 2, 3 would be in the SEC with Texas joining the SEC.
Oh, you're
and then
right. Yep.
Florida State in the ACC.
Yeah, the ACC is the next Pac-12. By the way, they will get banished soon.
Yes.
One day it will just
believe
be the Big Ten.
Alabama is going to win. Georgia has one timeout. Alabama just ran a play on 1st and 10. Minute and 15 seconds left.
Okay, yeah, that's nuts. Where did they play at?
Wow.
Like, I obviously know it's neutral, but
I'm pretty sure they play at Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that would make sense because it's pretty close. For at least definitely for Georgia, and then Bama's not too far away.
Yeah, it's in Atlanta.
Wow, I'm excited. Maybe we'll have to have a live reaction to post to our TikTok to the college football playoff.
It comes out Sunday.
Yeah. Do you want it?
I think
that'd be a good
cool.
idea. I think we should. That'd be a good idea.
Well, we could start we could start Sunday's episode like that. So
we don't have a Sunday episode.
Oh, I'm an idiot.
He is spreading false information. Do not listen.
Our next episode is on Monday.
By the way, the only reason we started on Tuesday this week was because of the Bears. So
Bears Monday Night Football game. It will
things
Bears
will change
Mondays.
for that too.
Yeah.
But
and then the rest of the week will also shift up the one day.
Yeah, so it'll be Bears Monday, Bulls and Blackhawks Wednesday, and then Cubs Friday usually. Especially, I like Cubs Friday because 1:20 at Wrigley on a Friday is kind of iconic.
Exactly.
So it made sense.
It is iconic.
It is iconic.
See, we think these things through, everybody.
Yeah, no, we actually no. I mean, it was just kind of like coincidence to be honest. Well, actually, no, that's not true because you wanted it to be on Wednesday. I'm like, no, Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
So
we're about Michigan's gonna smoke Iowa. If Iowa wins, what do we do now? What if Iowa wins and Florida State wins? Does the Big Ten get screwed and no one gets in?
Iowa's the 1 seed.
If Iowa wins, Michigan would have 1 loss, no conference championship. Let's say Florida State wins for shits and giggles.
Okay.
You have Washington's guaranteed.
What?
Florida State has to be guaranteed, undefeated conference champion.
Yeah.
And then you have 1 loss conference SEC champion Alabama, 1 loss no conference championship Georgia, 1 loss Big 12 champion Texas, and then 1 loss no conference championship Michigan.
I don't even want to think about this. That was terrible. I don't even what do you do? Can Michigan make the playoff?
You'd have to think they give the Big Ten 1 team.
And it's least. Iowa. Okay.
It's not going to be Iowa.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
That'd just be over under for that game.
I think it was 40-ish or something like that. Why did Adam Schefter just tweet to let the games begin? I don't like that.
The over under is 35. Yeah. No way.
And then it's Iowa's over under first half points is 2.5.
I tweeted out on ChiTownPod 1 on Twitter. Our score prediction or my score prediction. This is because I tweeted it from the podcast.
He runs the Twitter. I run the TikTok. Just kind of ended up working.
I predicted 32-2 Michigan, so we still get the under.
Yeah, and Iowa gets a safety because that's how Iowa does it.
That's how Iowa rolls. Man.
Oh man,
it's actually going to be crazy. We are running a little long. We're at 59 minutes.
Yeah, no. To be honest,
longest episode.
Yeah, I just want to see the 1 hour thing on Spotify. It's kind of cool.
All right, so we got 30 seconds.
Yeah, we have 30 seconds here.
I'm excited. I want maximum chaos. Go Michigan. Go Florida State. And then screw the college football playoff committee. you guys are gonna have to
Yeah.
decide who to
Yeah, you
include
guys
in
suck
this.
anyway because you guys always glaze Bama. So
The glaze
Bama's
the
in.
SEC.
Bama.
I
I didn't
hope
think about that.
Georgia. I, genuinely, if Michigan wins and Florida State wins,
Our Georgia
it's gonna
misses.
be there is not gonna be an SEC school.
No, Bama. Oh wait, no, wait,
Texas
no, you're dude. Oh my god, I hate this so much.
has the SEC ever missed a college football playoff?
That's the type of thing you have to ask like Stat News.
The SEC has never had a champion miss the college football playoff.
That's insane. Well, okay. I wonder they'll probably stick by that too.
How can you though?
Yeah.
I mean, the only way
Okay.
they do
Michigan
because Florida
won.
State,
Washington too.
Florida State would have to be 3 just
And then
because undefeated
you gotta give it
champion.
to Texas over Bama.
Or you just say fuck Texas and Bama and still give it to Georgia.
And no, fuck all of them, and you give it to Ohio State. I'm kidding.
That would be crazy.
I would love that.
A college football playoff game, Michigan versus Ohio State.
When was the last? Has that ever happened?
No.
No. Oh, dude, that would be
It
awesome.
could have happened last year.
Yeah, I know.
If Ohio State didn't miss a field goal and if Michigan didn't fumble on the 1 yard line like 3 times against TCU.
And JJ threw like 2 pick sixes. A lot of things happened.
Yeah, a lot of things happened, but
they to be honest, they didn't deserve it.
no.
So
Well,
let's
we
wrap
got
this
to
thing up.
the 1 hour mark.
Yes, I needed that.
Thank you for listening to episode 3. We'll catch you guys on Monday. We'll be talking the draft, Panthers, depending on what happens in their game, for Bears draft picks, and maybe we'll give a little mock draft.
Yeah, maybe we'll sprinkle one in. I mean, we'll have
sprinkle
to.
one in.
I mean, even like predictions for the Bears, where they'll move, head coaching candidates, all of like the stuff to like kind of previewing the offseason. Because it's the bye week. We got no Bears game
Exactly.
to talk about.
We're trying to keep it about an hour each. If anything, the Bears this Monday podcast might be about 45 minutes.
Yeah, this is kind of where drive content.
Because there's no Bears game this weekend.
Nope.
But
no
who knows?
Bears.
It might be turned into a Cubs podcast, emergency podcast.
Yeah. Hopefully, if you see an episode that's not on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, I would really want to listen to that one if I was you.
Yes, agreed. Because Thomas and I have both said we're leaving class.
We will leave class and record. Well, maybe we'll. I don't know how to live stream, but we have not gotten that far.
We'll figure it out eventually.
we can dabble into that.
Yeah,
a little dabble.
Thank you for listening to episode 3. Follow us on our socials: Twitter, ChiTownPod1, TikTok. What's the TikTok, Thomas?
ChiTown_pod.
And then at ChiTownPod on Instagram. And leave a like on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube, follow and give us 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Music.
Bro, shut up.
We haven't set up the Apple Music yet.
Yeah, I know. Come on. Rate it how you want it.
That's true. That's true.
We're not like seeking here.
Yeah.
Do that.
I mean, we would appreciate a 5-star review.
We would appreciate it. If you think it's 5 stars, give it 5 stars.
But if you think it's 1 star, leave us some feedback. It's only our 3rd time, so
yeah, it's only up from here.
Yeah,
that's just
exactly.
In case reiterating.
Rome wasn't built in a day, Thomas.
Yes, it was not. Or no, I said yes, it was. No, it was
yes,
not.
It was not. Well, we're rambling here.
All right, yeah, we'll see you guys.
Have a good one.
I will not salute though. No saluting.
Yeah, no saluting anymore. That was embarrassing.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, okay.
We'll be back on Monday. Have a good one.
See ya.